All right, we're streaming Week 7 lineup review on Mike as I click and click and click. Hello. Hello, everyone in the comments. All right, I did not have a good week. If you see the cover of this video with Tua and he's kind of making a weird face, I thought that would be fitting. I'll start where I did okay. SuperDraft, which I love. I put in, actually, this $5 contest was a ticket. So I only spent 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, I spent 10. So I spent $5, cashed $9.10. Stick to 50-50s. 5-player contest. Look at this. First place gets 3. Second gets $1.50. So 40%. These are cash games. 10-player contest. Top 3 win 33%. And then I throw this in the. This was a dollar GPP, but I only put in one lineup. So if you haven't played on SuperDraft, it's a multiplier. Cash game, pretty good lineup. I put up a lot of points despite having Mahomes. This guy had Jackson. So the way you can, so with SuperDraft, sometimes people go nuts with the multiplier because obviously the higher the multiplier, it's basically Chase was the big play. So he had 32 fantasy points times 1.35. So sometimes people fall in love with this, but you want to play guys in multipliers that are in good spots, not just play a high multiplier like Ricky Seals-Jones. Now, he had a better multiplier than Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts was a better play. So you got to be careful. Like Swift's a great play, a 1.45. But you can't shy away from the guys that are 1x. You don't get any bonus for, but they're good stud players. So I try to mimic my cash game. And that's what I did with Henry and Adams in this lineups. And guess what, folks? That worked, but it didn't work anywhere else. And I'm getting to the point now when I do this is I get a good feel for a slate with salaries, and where I get to the point where I go, you know what? I don't think I should play both of these guys this week, but I could not get off. And I spent $20. I got about 11 back, so I lost 9 on here. I just couldn't get off of those two guys. And I did okay in some of the cash games, but in some of the, the 5 players, the head-to-heads, the quintuple ups, the triple ups, I didn't do great in. So all I do is I play 10-person 50-50s. And this was my lineup. Now the C19, that's from last week. I love paying down a quarterback, and I bet this is a GPP lineup. Let's go head-to-head. Yeah, because he's got Murray, Edmonds. He's got a stack there. Cash games I don't play usually more than I stick with one player, but I'll take you through my process. And part of me is mad, part of me is not, because I was right not to play those two. Like, it would have worked. But if I look at some of the other plays, this killed me. Daryl Henderson, if he puts up 20 or has one more touchdown, Henderson and Hardman. Though, Hardman was not a good play. Hardman was a GPP play. You shouldn't play it. Pettis is kind of a GPP play with all those guys out at 3,000. He only has to get about 10 points. If he was at 5, he had passing yards. But if he didn't even have a touchdown in this, he's got 9.54. That's okay at that price. But I don't regret playing Henderson against the Lions since they're so awful against the run. So my process was I wanted guys in good spots. I like Tennessee to win this game. I'm kicking myself for not playing Damian Harris because I'm a Patriots fan and I knew that game was going to go that way. But I kept Harris for GPPs because I knew it'd be under own. But I should have played him here. And I could have easily put Harris in for Henry and gone down to Cup, and I would have smashed. I could have still had Hardman, Pettis, Kmet, and still smash. But, I just liked these guys at home. And Henry did have a touchdown, but that killed me, Henderson. But I like those three guys. I love Tua in this spot. I love Pettis at his price. And then to get Adams and Henry, I needed some value. And that's where this kind of came in right here, these three. And it didn't work out. The Cardinals being at 3,100, I don't know if DraftKings made a mistake. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I don't know why. And I don't know if maybe because they're playing on Thursday, they thought there could be some kind of letdown, or I don't know, but they shouldn't have been 3,100. And I'm surprised they weren't 100% owned. The Ravens killed everybody. But look at this. I mean, this guy had more points than me. He got -1 from his defense, but he had Chris Godwin, who was another guy I had in my player pool and didn't play. I don't love his running backs here, but it worked for him because, well, Jacobs at home. Jacobs got hurt too, but Swift on the road did work out. Williams on the road. I don't love a lot of these plays. That Cooks is a GPP, but I mean, who am I to say he scored more? But this might not work. I still subscribe to what I do. Home favorites for running backs. That's how I build first. Pay down a quarterback, which look at Kyle Murray. I mean, it worked out. Look at Josh Fields with 140 points with more than mine. I bet this is a Mahomes lineup. Well, Darnold. Oof. Yeah, Mahomes. That's the problem. If you pay that in DraftKings. So look at the difference. I mean, you're going down 3,000 more, 2,900 to be exact. And I got 20 more points. With running backs, if you go down 3,000 to 6,200, you're not going to always get a guy like Henry, even though Herbert did it this week. But I would stick to paying down. And then I try to pay down and get value at tight end, which I thought I would. Kmet, who had 6 targets. The best play was Morneau, the guy that played for Waller. So that didn't work for my cash games. See the GPP. This was my best. GPPs were better. This was my best GPP lineup at 163. I went with a Hurts to Goddard stack. I ran it back with Jacobs. And then I didn't have a secondary. Oh, I did have a secondary stack. I had Higgins and Bateman, but the play would have been Chase and Bateman. That was my secondary. And then my one-offs were Godwin, Swift, and the Cardinals, which worked out. So not a bad lineup, I don't think. This was single entry. Winning lineup, 220. Damn. Mac Jones. Mac Jones with Damian Harris. Did not run it back with anybody. Chase Brown. Stack there. Good lineup. Cup, the one-off. Really good lineup. But that's not something I would ever think of doing. But he took home $1,000. So it didn't really work great for DraftKings. FanDuel was worse. $16 in cash games. I got nothing. Okay, this is a Fantasy Pros contest, and you get to do this for being... I wonder if I hit rematch. Oh, wow. So you get FTP points, and I was 11th out of 57. I was actually near 1. It's only... Where am I at? Yep. There I am at 11th. But I was in first place for a lot of this. Look at Tua was the good stack. But I liked Rodgers with Adams. ran it back with Seals Jones. The play would have been, why am I blanking on the receiver? McLaren. Then I did just a lot of one-offs. Damian Harris, who I loved, Fournette, Daryl Williams in a GPP. That was a secondary stack of Brown and Williams. Waddle is my one-off. Fournette is a one-off. And so I got 24,000 FanDuel points, which is a $10 value. So I guess I won $10, but not a great day. This lineup sucked. I don't know what I was really. This was not good. Still was close to cashing. The cash line was 114. I had 1032. It's one of my worst cash game lineups in a few years. I always seem to have a lot of success on FanDuel, but not on this day. Go to the last cash so you can see where I like to show this so you can see that you don't have to have insane lineups to win. 112.34. So I was 9 points away, which is a couple touchdowns. So I ran with Aaron Rodgers, which was really low owned. I just figured against the Washington defense. I played Henry, which was a mistake, at 11,000. See, he was not that high owned. Look at these running backs. I have had more points with my running backs. Look at this: Fournette, Henry, and Henderson. But the problem was, it just sucked up too much. Where I'm playing, you can kind of look at it, how I build my running backs and then my quarterback, tight end. That's what I usually do. And I thought Ravens at 2,900, or not 2,900, but they were cheap on DraftKings, and they were cheap on FanDuel. And that's part of the thing where you got to turn the page. I think I had a lot of recency bias, which I don't. These pros, this is why they're pros. They can really turn the page on a week, and I think in my head sometimes I just can't. And I still had the way the Ravens played against the Chargers, and just listening to like NFL radio and how everyone's saying like this is the team now, and I kind of felt that, and I didn't think Cincinnati could do that, and that's why the pros win, because everyone took that information, and when you hear all that information, you should go all in, or not even go all in, but have a GPP lineup with the Bengals, because when there's a lot of stuff out there, and if you listen to a lot of NFL radio and Sirius, or if you kind of listen to a lot of NFL analysts, the way that the Ravens came back from that Colts game and then destroyed the Chargers the next week, people had elevated them, and I heard a lot of people on the radio saying, there's no way Cincinnati can go in there. And I think maybe in the back of my head, I thought that. So for cash games, it's okay if you didn't have the Bengals. But in a GPP lineup, Burrow, Chase, and those guys were in the 1 to 5% area. You got to play them, even if it's against Baltimore. So what happened was really, Henry kind of handicapped my lineup. And by paying that and paying up 2 on quarterbacks, which is something I don't do. And it's funny that Hurts was more than Rodgers. I didn't see on FanDuel. It's different. The quarterbacks are priced different. The pricing is different for quarterbacks, where there isn't a huge drop. So you can still, Rodgers was kind of in the middle. Let's see what the number 1 lineup had. Kyler Murray at 87. That's only 800 more than Rodgers. And guys like Tua, if anyone had Tua, it's got to be a Tua lineup. Lamar Jackson was 84. Mac Jones was 68. So that's only, you're talking 1,100. Now on DraftKings, Mac Jones was like 5,200 and Aaron Rodgers was like 8,000. It's a huge, they allow you to pay up on quarterbacks. And I think the reason that structure is different is because it's not PPR. It's a half point PPR on here. So you get half a point per reception. So I think that's why the salaries are weighted different for quarterbacks, because they want you to play the good quarterbacks, because you get a lot of points each week. You know, you can get way more from quarterbacks than receivers because they don't get the bonus. FanDuel doesn't do the bonus, or they see how they do half point. So receivers are weighted less. So a lot of your lineups are the quarterback. I mean, Mac Jones had more points than Chris Godwin. So, you know, I don't think this is horrible. So, I mean, say I did pay for Mac Jones, I could have gone up probably, you know, 7,000 from Waddle. But still, I think fading Henry here, you know, you got to play Cooper Kupp. And I didn't. And, you know, I got caught here kind of in a dead zone. You know, this is not great. Waddle, Pettis, Smith, and Kmet. Now, Pettis, 1% owned, 13 points. That's minimum on, pretty much minimum. So I don't hate it. I just mean this combination. This is not a cash game combination. Smith, you know, deep threat. These are target monsters. I mean, Hill's not really, but look at that. Moreau is less. But overall, you know, if I just get a few more touchdowns out of this, you know, this guy didn't have Henry. So if Henry's rushed for a touchdown, I mean, they won the game by 24 points. He only threw for a touchdown. Odds are, if they win a game by 24 points at home and he has close to 29 carries, he's probably scoring 2 touchdowns. So if you think about it, maybe I'm being too hard on my process because they won the game. That's what we like, home favorites. Just didn't have a monster game. Tampa Bay, 38-3. Not bad. For 7,000, not great. Not great return on 7,000. Got stopped at the 1 yard line too. I was watching that. But, you know, I think overall, if you look at this, every position matters, right? What's the thinking here? Baltimore against Cincinnati. The Rams are home. Tampa Bay, 4,400. 4,400. I was waiting to the end to do this. They're at home with Tom Brady against Josh Fields. They're $100 more. All right? Common sense, Mike. And this is a good lesson for everyone watching this. You know, sometimes you think, oh, who cares about defense? That's a 22-point difference. Could I fit him in my lineup and fit Henry in my lineup and cashed? You bet. That's a bad play. The Ravens. Could have easily fit him in. Could have come off any of these guys. $100. I think I maxed this. This is a max, I believe. How do I figure? Let's not say salary. I mean, we could add it up. I'm not going to do that. So, yeah. So, back to the grind. Did throw together a cash lineup, our first look lineup. Let's do that. If you have any comments, put them in the chat. Hey, Justin. How you doing, bud? So, this is kind of my first look. What I do is on Sunday, believe it or not, during the Sunday night football game, I just throw together in that 5 cents, 150. I don't mass entry. I'll just play my cash game in this, and I have an optimizer. I use a Fantasy Pros that can do it, but I don't do that. I just play $16 of cash games, and I play 4 small GPPs. I can show you, and I've showed people this before. This is what I do. I play, these are all cash games. Mainly play 50-50s. I play 3 head-to-heads. Then I do a couple of like 3-man leagues, 10-man leagues. These are still cash games because, okay, top 3. So 33% win. Triple up is 35-40%. And you see I throw it in the nickel. And then I throw it in this small squib. This is a small GPP lineup. The reason I play this is because the winning scores are not as high as the big tournaments. This is only 1,195 people, so you can win this with a cash game lineup. And then for the GPPs, I stick to the small. Where are we? Oh yeah, I have different lineups. So small squib, 1176, small squib, 1176, small squib, 1176. Then I do always single entry. This is a bigger one. And when you see the bigger ones, you need to have a higher score. 199 was the final. We're on the 1176. You only needed 170. All right, we get some questions. Yeah, season long. I'm in a season long. I can show you. I'll bring up my season long team on ESPN, but let's get to your questions. My team is 6-1. This is an auction league, by the way, which I love. If you're not doing auctions, change your freaking life. Who can I get? Who can I get? I want to get rid of Schultz in a... Who can I get? I want to get rid of Schultz and get a running back in a PPR league. Who can I get? I want to get rid of Schultz. Okay. Okay, so for Schultz, I would look at the team who has Hawkinson. Since Hawkinson's been down a little bit. Maybe you can trade Schultz to that team. Look for somebody who drafted a tight end high, right? Someone that's invested in a tight end. Or look for any injuries this week and look for some buy lows. I mean, the thing, if you want to get rid of Schultz and get a running back in return. Oh, I get it. Okay. You want to get rid of Schultz and A-Rob. My bad, Justin. I'm almost 50, so. I thought you meant and a running back, but it was a spelling. You have Pitts. I like that combo. So you're never going to play... You could sell high on Pitts. I don't know if I do that. You know, if it's a keeper, you could always do that. Obviously, with Justin Fields at quarterback, you're not going to give edge for Robinson. I would try to do this. I don't know if it all depends on your league. I would trade Schultz and Allen Robinson for Keenan Allen. Don't look at what Keenan Allen's doing right now. He's good. We know Mike Williams and all that, but he's Keenan Allen. And if you traded those two guys and got Keenan Allen and it didn't work, yeah, redraft. Because you have Pitts, right? So you're not playing Schultz. Hey, Mark. Sorry, bud. Should I trade Lockett for OBJ and Michael Pittman? Whew, that's a good one. Full PPR. I don't know. Here's the issue with last night's game. Okay? New Orleans is good, and you need to take that into account. I know this sounds nuts. I'm going to say this. I think New Orleans has a chance to win a game or two in the playoffs. And I can't believe I'm saying that with Jameis and Winston, but you know who I trust more? I trust Sean Payton. I really do. And they're going to get Michael Thomas back. And they got Smith back last night. And they won that game. I understand Geno Smith was playing, but New Orleans never won games like that. So what happens is in a game like that, everyone's, do you know what's hitting the fan with Lockett? I don't know if I'm doing that. And here's the reason why. OBJ, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He might not play. So you're basically, I think it's Lockett for Pittman. And in DFS, Pittman's more of a tournament, like a GPP play, because he's kind of a deeper threat. I'd hold on to Lockett for one more week, whenever your trading deadline is. Sorry for taking forever, Mark. Justin had me all locked up here. Darnell Mooney too, but again, Mark, look at the quarterback. You know what I mean? You're going to get Russell Wilson back. So it's, who do you trust? And Bears are awful. I don't know if I'm doing that. I think you can get a little more for Lockett, believe it or not, because he's still in a PPR, he's a target guy. Maybe you try to trade him for Keenan Allen, Lockett. Justin, I would trade for Keenan Allen, but the guy I'm playing needs a tight end this week, and I play him. Oh, yeah, Claypool, absolutely. He's playing close to every snap. And he's still really good, and that's still not a lot of mouths to feed either. I look at that in terms of, that's what I don't like about the Indy situation, is I know that Hilton didn't play last week, but there's a lot of guys. Now, Campbell did go on IR. There's a lot of mouths to feed on that. I love receivers on bad defenses. That's what I really like. You know, that's what you want. Yeah, Tampa Bay's the exception, but Tampa Bay's had their struggles. That's another thing, too, guys. You might want to, in your leagues, all right, go look at the Chiefs. See if maybe you can snag a Hill or Kelsey from someone. Because people do live in the minute. Thoughts on D-Hop? He did not practice both days. I think it's a veteran day. Maybe because they're playing on Thursday night, Justin. You know what I mean? I was telling people on Twitter that I was really worried in the betting community. If you guys bet at all, I do props. I was worried that the Arizona and Green Bay games were going to be lousy because they play Thursday. They had to be looking ahead. But I wonder if, with all the travel with Arizona, I know sometimes we don't think of the real world stuff, that maybe, they're just giving them some time off. And it's a longer season this year, too. I think the Saints can beat yeah, I do, too. Their defense is incredible. It really is. I really do think you could see a New Orleans-Tampa Bay NFC Championship game. Justin, I like OBJ in the Lockett side. Okay. I would have to give up Julio and Lockett for Keenan Allen. Is that good? That's I would do that. I don't know. Yeah. Let's even get another player out of that. Mark, what's the rest of your team? Give me your team. I think you guys are both good, too. I have a feeling you guys are good. You think I can get Schultz for Claypool? The guy is Gronk, Knox, and Logan Thomas. Why does he have so many tight ends? What is... that... season-long things kill me with some people's, like, keeping 2 defenses or... for instance, in a auction league, in a season-long regular draft, I would never do this, Hurts and Prescott, because you're basically wasting a position. I did this because it's an auction draft, and I paid $4 for Jalen Hurts. I paid $7. I paid $11 to get these 2 guys, where other guys spent, $30, $40 for Mahomes. So in an auction league, it's okay, but I think in like season longs, you don't want to do this because, maybe for the bye week, but you want to keep that extra spot. Now, I try to keep 2 tight ends. I got so lucky with Ertz here. We have an IR spot. But try not to keep too much waste on the bench. This might be time for me to cut him loose. But I've held on to Carter. I just picked him up. I like this team too. Yeah, Justin, tell me your team. I want to see Mark's team too. You can type it in. Take your time. Also, guys, I would recommend, I don't work for these guys or anything. I love Fantasy Pros, and I purchased one of their premium subscriptions, which is only $100 for the year. And they have tools on here. They'll help you. So if you go to my playbook, like it will tell you, it gives you cheat sheets. It will help you on trades, trade analyzer. This is all you have to pay for all this stuff. But I really like this. And then, of course, they have a great optimizer. Optimizes your lineups. You can lock guys, but, I'm down with that. I don't get anything out of this. And I do get something out of Thrive, which I'll be honest. So if you want to use my code Radio Mike and sign up at Thrive, see, I'm just honest. Like, I do get something, but I like this. And I got this. I started doing this off a recommendation of somebody else. And here's the reason that I like doing this. I'll show you guys. There's a lot of contests that I have not won. The Chargers and Jaguars are official sponsors of this, okay? Every week, there's a free roll. Free. All you do, this is so easy, guys. I want to help you make some money because you're probably better at this than me. You just go into the Charger. It's just all Chargers, and you just pick on these props what you think. Now, on this one, I got 5 wrong and still made $5. Prize earned, $5. That's it. Now, I want to show you this. Like, free roll, $5. Free roll, $2. Free roll, 67 cents. Free roll, $2. Free roll, $10. I got 2 wrong. Get these 2 right, I won $100. All you're doing is picking over-unders. So if you wanted to sign up, you know what I did? I put $10 into this, got the 100% to get the 20. I hit on a couple of these, and then I do all the free rolls. and I just make some extra money. I think I've made $20-something on just these Jaguar Chargers free rolls. And why not? Why the hell not? Free? It's for me. Okay, you're in a 10-man PPR. That's why they're hoarding tight ends. I like that you have Watson. That is such a... I know there's a lot talked about with Watson about, off-the-field stuff. But when it comes down to fantasy sports and we're talking about money, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I'm getting crap in one of my leagues because people are saying, oh, how can you pick up someone like that? You have no respect for women. I'm like, of course I do. But it is what it is. Do you see how easily I get sidetracked? But if you guys don't know, I'm a professional baseball broadcaster. You could probably see from my YouTube. And broadcasters get so sidetracked. We're awful. Stafford, Watson, Aaron Jones, J-Rob, Javonte, Daryl Williams, Dylan, Hill, JJ. Is that Schuster? No, Justin Jefferson. So you got Hill, even though it's a 10-team PPR, you got Hill, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore. Holy crap. And Waddle, who is a target machine. A-Rob, which I think you're stuck with right now. You're going to probably have people try to trade for you for him to buy low. I mean, I just, it's not fair to Justin Fields, but he's not ready to play in this league right now. Gallup, who's coming back. You have Pitts and Schultz. The only thing, Justin... Oh, thank you. Here's my only advice, and I do the same thing here as you. I think you and Mark have good teams. I have to imagine because I do the same thing, and what you start doing is going, well, where can I tweak something? I'm on here last weekend, no lie, and I'm like, what if I traded Kamara and got like A.J. Brown and James Robinson? Now, is that good? It might be, but it's a stud here. A.J. Brown's a stud too. But do I know that James Robinson is going to continue? Maybe not. But I start like going, well, maybe I should trade Hurts. But in this kind of league, again, auction, you can go buy two quarterbacks. Like I didn't pay a lot. But it's worth it if you're good to have two guys like this because if one gets hurt, you're not going to lose a beat. My running backs aren't great. I really don't love, outside of Kamara. As much as, Daryl Henderson's been good, I don't know. And Daryl Williams, whatever. Love my receivers. Deontay John. I go for target machines in season longs. Johnson. Samuel's a target machine with some upside. Sutton. Chenault, those guys. T.Y. Hilton. But I'm still looking to tweak, which I'm thinking you are too. And if you trade Schultz and Pitts does get hurt because of that position, that's a position that and you're good and you go in the playoffs and you have who would be your I'm trying to think like who would in a 10-team PPR you'd probably be picking up like I don't know, like a Cole Kmet. Yeah, thank you, Justin. Yeah, Ken, what do you got? Ken, can I ask a question? Sure. Trade Montgomery and Knox for DeAndre Hopkins. Running backs are Aaron Jones, Barkley, Daryl Williams. So who you trading? David Montgomery? This must be like a dynasty, right? Running backs are Jones. Yeah, I would do that. You kidding me, man? Montgomery. I mean, Knox is the yeah, but you're gonna get DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, Cash's stylist. Great handle. I'm gonna give you what movie is this from? Do It. Do It. Remember that movie? Starsky and Hutch, yeah. The movie. James, who do I start with? Devontae. Yeah, and Lazard, by the way, just got COVID. Just to let you know. Yep. Lazard on COVID. So, where are you, James? Who do I start with? Devontae? Judy Shepard, Eli Mitchell, Michael Carter, Javonte, Marvin Jones, PPR, Corey Davis. Oh, hold on, James. Are you talking one spot for all those guys you have on the bench, I'm assuming? Boy, that's if you need one guy in a PPR, obviously Lazard scratch, Judy, they play Washington. Shepard can be I go for you're buying opportunities here. So who do you think gets the most chances, James, out of that collection of players? Probably Eli Mitchell, Marvin Jones, or Corey Davis and Shepard in terms of opportunities. Ken says, should I trade Najee Harris for Austin Eckler and T. Higgins? No. I would trade Najee Harris to get Eckler and a better receiver because that guy plays every snap. You know what I mean? He plays like there's not many running backs that do that. And if you look at Pittsburgh right now, the ball's going to three spots, mainly. It's Ben going to Claypool, Johnson, and Harris. I just think Harris is a better runner. If it's full PPR, Harris, yeah, I think you can get more, believe it or not, for Harris because that's a I call a 5-box running back. He does it all. You know, I don't know if Eckler's quite there. You're 5-2. You got Mahomes, Hopkins, Evans, Andrews, Fournette, and Pollard. That's good. And then you have Harris. I would hold Ken. Try to get more. If you trade Harris, maybe you try to get Zeke. You know? Yep. Cash is no brainer. Just making sure. I think Chargers defense will be good for this week with the Patriots. I'm a huge Patriots fan, but I don't think the Patriots are. This is a game where they could win this game. This is like they haven't won a big boy game. I just from watching every snap in every game, the Patriots defense to me is really not good. And I just think that they are going to have a lot of issues covering Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Eckler. This is going to be a tough one for them. I could see this really being a tough game for them. And defenses in daily fantasy and season long are sometimes misconstrued. You sometimes want a defense against a team that's going to throw a lot, because throws open up picks, open up sacks. Just a team that's not going to score a lot of points. Now, when it's the Arizona against Houston, when it's an 18-point favorite, but you guys know if you do Yahoo scoring or any kind of scoring, it mainly is like if they give up 7 points, you lose like 6 points right off the 10 that you start with. So I like defenses every week that are at home. The Chargers are at home, that have a chance to have a pick six. They definitely do. So even if the Patriots projected scores 23-24, they still are going to get probably a lot of sacks and picks. Trade Hopkins for Jefferson PPR. Man, you guys have some tough questions. I think it depends what your lineup looks like, James. If could you honestly, in this scenario, think about this. Do you think that could end up as a wash at the end of the year? Could they end up with exactly the same statistics? I think there's an excellent chance that could happen. So then why do that? Trade Hopkins for a running back. I wouldn't. I don't know. I think that's a lateral. Cassius, Silas, you have Kyler too. Damn. Boy, you guys have freaking great teams. So that way you get Kyler, you have a stack every week. Good stuff. Thank you, Cassius Stylist. Thanks for watching here. I love fantasy football. I like all of it too. I'm doing NBA and all kinds of crap. I do, I tell people this all the time. If you're not playing, play the free stuff. Like, here's something I do on FanDuel. FanDuel's get free, like, pick'em contest. And you can win, like, a lot of money. Now, I haven't, and I'm not really good at this. But, like, this $1 million picks, look at it. I finished 414 last week out of, I don't know how many people. Tons of people. All right? First place won $53 because he had a bunch of the same winners. This is free. So basically what you do is they give you $1 million. You can only, each bet, you get 4 bets, or you can get more than that, but you can only max $250 per bet. So I max and I go for like money lines. And I hit on all these. And I won that. I mean, this is not real money. And I was only, $400,000 off winning $53. But that's all like this is, and sometimes people go, yeah, $50, they want to win $1 million. I get all that. But you start winning like things, you build up a bankroll. What the hell is this doing this? Please verify you're a human by clicking down, huh? Okay. All right. Get sidetracked again. Who will get the usage with Adams and Lazard out? Aaron Jones. Good question, though. Let's go to the, even if you're not doing, daily, free contest. I'm reserving it. Winner gets $500, I believe, right? 5,000. It's free. It's going to be 50,000 people, but hey, it's free. Okay, so to answer your question, we can do this for season long with Adams and Lazard out. Who gets the usage. Aaron Jones, if he comes back, has a chance to return. Valdez-Scantling, Tanyan, and there's going to be somebody here that's going to, like with two guys out. So if you're thinking of picking anyone up for season long, I don't know if it's worth it. Obviously him. So, it's not horrible if you think about it. You're going to you really still lose Adams because Lazard can be filled by Cobb and Valdez-Scantling. So they'll have, opportunities there. So if you're playing DFS, and that's the question, and you're doing a GPP, I would go with Valdez-Scantling. I've won money with him a lot. And in a cash game, I would go with Cobb. Oh, yeah, James, that one spot to start in a PPR, I'd probably go with Eli Mitchell. That seems to be the guy there. Javonte, A-Rob, Waddle, Daryl Williams, or DJ Moore. Start one. It's a tough one. I'd go with DJ Moore. He's still a stud. It's either, for me, it's between Moore and Waddle, but you got Williams, Daryl Williams at home against the Giants. Trust me, this guys. If you're playing any DFS, I would go nuts on the Chiefs are going to destroy the Giants. They're at home. They're not going to lose. This is how you win money in daily fantasy. Yeah, it's a Monday night game, so it's not a main slate game, but I would go with Williams or DJ Moore. Gun to my head, DJ Moore, because he's more established. But Williams has a chance for a touchdown. I think Schultz will be okay with Gallup coming back, but I agree. Yeah, because I think that fuller offenses make it easier. I sometimes we look at it, well, if the Bills lost Diggs, Knox would get way more opportunities. Maybe not. I don't think it's always good when teams lose their best players. I think it's better. It opens it up more. Hey, Juan Carlos Castillo. Should I trade Terry and Keenan for Tyreek and J-Rob? No. Not in season long. Because I look at opportunities. Unless running back's bad for you. So like in a vacuum, I'd say no, but I mean if you have no running backs, I think Tyreek could have a 40-point game against is that what you mean, or is that basketball? So one JCC. What's JCC? Jewish Community Center? The JCC. Oh, you have Najee and C-Mac. Yeah. Wow, that's a good 3 running backs you got there, man. I just traded C-Mac for Cook because I worry about him playing. He's not a big guy. I worry about him not playing this year. I think Jacksonville's gotten better. Schedules mean a lot. These bad teams. Like, listen, I don't give a crap. I had somebody the other day say to me, that Jalen Hurts is he is the worst, best fantasy quarterback in the NFL. I don't care. I don't care how bad he is. I know he's not good. I've watched their games, but I don't give a crap. He gets me 32 points. It doesn't matter. I had Tim Tebow when he could not throw, and he'd rush for 80 yards and a touchdown and throw for 100 yards and an interception. I didn't care because I got 16 points out of him at like minimum price. These guys stink. I don't care as long as they are doing this. Garbage. They beat the Dolphins. Seattle, Buffalo, Indy. These are all going to be a lot of garbage situations. That schedule is not bad for them to put up points. And look at this. If you look at their schedule, and you got to believe they're going to get better, you get J-Rob, and you don't trade C-Mac, and C-Mac comes back, Juan, and all of a sudden you've got a freaking Najee, C-Mac, J-Rob, Tyreek Hill. Pretty good.
Kyle Shanahan has seen what happens.
Yeah. See if you can go. Yeah, I'd like that trade for you, bud. I got a fantasy basketball question. Should I drop Malik Beasley and get Reggie Jackson? Yeah, I think yeah. What do I do with Julio in fantasy? I don't know. And, let's look at. What I love about DraftKings? It works for season long because you can just type in a guy and you can look at all of his stats. The targets are not really there, but the problem with that team, and it's a good problem for them, is that everything runs through Derrick Henry. So if you're this is where you have to take into account fantasy football. Sometimes it's not good to have guys on great teams, except if it's Derrick Henry. Tennessee's trying to win. They're good. So they're going to run the ball more because they have the best running back, I think, one of the best in the history of the game. So they're going to end up devising their game plans off that. There's not a lot of games where they're going to be throwing 50 times. That's why he was better in Atlanta. He might be, he's a pretty good blocker. He might be better for this team now because it does draw coverage and all that. But I'm not sure what you do with him. What I would do, G. Moeller, is, and everyone's smarter now, just sit on it, depending on when your trade deadline is. If he has a good week coming up, if he does well against Indy, trade him right now. Because there'll be that fall in love with Julio factor. That's what I would do. Yeah, Chiefs Hill can have a 40-point. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Watson. All right. Here's why I think Deshaun Watson is definitely getting traded to the Dolphins. Why did Brian Flores sit down with Tua and tell him about this whole situation? I guess they had a meeting about it. Why would they do that if there was if they were no interest in it? I definitely think you got to look at the history of that conference. Not the conference, the division. As a Patriots fan, I was watching that game Sunday being like, I told my parents, I go, the Jets finally get Tom Brady out. And they lose 54-17 when they took a rookie quarterback, second overall. Now, I don't think it's all on him, but who looks like they're primed in a better spot right now? The Patriots or the Dolphins and Jets? Everyone thought the Dolphins and Jets would be, closer to Buffalo than New England. And they couldn't be further from it. And Brian Flores, we know this. Executives, coaches, their shelf life, not that long. So I absolutely think it's happening. And I absolutely think it's Miami. I really do. If you're Houston and you get Tua back, are you in a better spot than you are now? The Texans have no leverage in this, and they should get more compensation because to me it's BS. The player does something. The team didn't do anything, and they can't really just cut him. They have to make him inactive. He has to stay on the roster. It's not fair to them because of the player. But so Houston is got no leverage in this. But if they can get Tua, I don't think they're going to get a lot back. I would absolutely do that if I'm Miami. I'd absolutely do it from Houston. I don't know who the other teams are rumored to be at it. But it's such a small window in this league. And you're seeing it. If you're not good in a 3 or 4 year window, you're gone. Coaches, players, executives. I got Josh Allen, Najee, C-Mac. Yeah, you got a good team. Is LeBron playing? I believe he is. Let's go to the old Twitter. Got TweetDeck. This is what I do. You're going to have all the fantasy dorks in here. Watch. Is he playing? I love that. They'll ask somebody, is LeBron playing? But LeBron James playing. Yeah, he is. He's probable, I think. Look at this. Somebody tweeted at him. You playing tonight, bro? We have a fantasy week to win. Oh, I'm sure he's all over that. Heartbroken Philly fan. I bet LeBron is going to respond. Why do people do that? Sorry if you guys tweeted famous people, but don't ask LeBron James if he's playing. Especially if you're over like 25. All right, anything else? Any season-long DFS, prop betting, World Series? I'll show you a lineup I made tonight for... You guys play Yahoo. If you do your Yahoo... I have a crappy team in my Yahoo league. This is awful. I'll share it with you. I don't care. I mean, this is garbage. I traded for Ridley, Moore, Cook, Sanders, and I picked up Watson. This is a keeper league too. Keep one, but this team blows. 3 and 4. But Yahoo has DFS, and I put $5 in my account here. I just play the free ones. That's it. Free, and they're all prizes. If you go into Yahoo DFS, there's a log at 11,000. There's my World Series. Going with the Maldonado, the 9th hitter. If I win, I'll post my winnings. Let's see what this pays. $1,000. Oh man, that'd be nice. I want to hit one and share it with all you guys. Yeah, Justin, it's tough. Once you start doing daily, like I have a tough time with season longs now. It's so fun. But it's good if it's not for you. It's not for everybody. It's hard and frustrating. All right, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, watch all the videos. Drop me if you want to email. Now, can I set up a Discord for all of us? How do I do that? Somebody tell me how to do that. I have Discord, but can we set up a private? Or do I have to pay for? I probably have to pay for that. Or should I do a whatchamacallit? Should we do a stream in another Twitch? Should we do Twitch? No? All right, I'm going to call it a night. Good luck. Love your teams. And try to do 2 of these a week now. I do 1. We'll try to do more than 1. So have a great night, everyone. Thank you. Peace.